Good morning. Past 5 in the morning. An early start. There's bad weather on its way, thunderstorms this afternoon. So I made a really early start. I stayed at Allt Sguabaidh bunkhouse last night in Achnaisheen after driving up from work. I was up here in May doing the twin peak of the one I'm going to do today, which is Ruadh-stac Beag, a Corbett at 896 metres. I was up here early May doing the twin peak of it, Meall. Let's get back up here. I do love Torridon and the mountains, and of course Ruadh-stac Beag sits on the very back of the big Beinn Eighe range in Glen Torridon, although I'm starting today from the Loch Marie side. We'll go and follow this trail which leads me up higher up onto the mountain, and then on a plateau. I'll get some views into the quarries of Beinn Eighe, and then I'll be on my way for a steep bouldery scramble up at my main summit. So it should be a good day. "250 metres up now. It's been a bit of a slog." Oh dear. 5:30 starts in the morning. They're no good, but you know what? You want peace, you want to get the hills done. It's the way to do it. And avoid horrible, shitty weather. Yeah. So anyway, I could do a wee pan round here, but this probably a new camera does it anyway. Ahead in the cloud is Meall, and I'm following this fine track. And when we pan round, you can see full 360. Whee! It's great. Over to that side there is Sliach, but it's in the cloud. Sliach, of course, was my final Munro. 2 times when I completed my Munros. One and a half hours I've been walking now, and I'm now here in the northern quarries of Beinn Eighe. The peaks around me are all the northeastern peaks of Beinn Eighe. Probably not climbed that often because the 2 Munros are on the other side of the range. This is the eastern side. Right above me here, this rocky peak is where I'm going, Ruadh-stac Beag, which is a Corbett, the only Corbett, well actually one of 2 Corbetts in the range. Meall is the one over there I did earlier in May, as I spoke about earlier. Look at the quarry here, it's absolutely astounding and wild. There's barely a trace of path here that I'm on, so I'm kind of watching the step as I go. But I'm heading up into the quarry here. I'm going to swing to the right, come to a Beall, and then climb the final bouldery, craggy slopes of the Corbett. Me 2 hours and 50 minutes to get here, and boy, I've been rewarded. My 5:30 start walking has been paid off. There's Meall in the distance there. That's the next Corbett I was on earlier in May. And right across Loch Marie there's a huge bank of cloud. You're seeing the top of the Fisherfield peaks, a wee bit of Sleoch, and then just this massive bank of cloud looking east. Fantastic. And now we're on to the Beinn Eighe ridge. That's the Munro, the second Munro, Spidean Torridon Clach I think it's called, at 972 metres. Everybody seems to do that. And then we're looking at Triple Buttress, which drops into Corrie McFerricher on the western end of Beinn Eighe. And then here's Ruadh-stac Beag, the highest point of Beinn Eighe, the second or the first Munro, 10. Well, here we go, a mile and a bit to go back to the car. I never followed the track back, I took a sort of higher route and ended up on a smaller wee peak earlier there, just exploring off the beaten track. You can't beat that when you're out and about. You come up one way and you go back down the same way. It can be a bit monotonous, so I just took a wee variant. I'm now on the track that I came up earlier this morning. There's a nice wee gorge here, I think the Allt Sguabaidh it is, that runs through there, and we're looking over at Fisherfield Forest. We can't see Loch Marie, and there's the Allt Sguabaidh and the top of the Corbett of Ruadh-stac Beag. Easy-ish walk, good terrain, although the weather's been really dry recently. I don't have my boots on today, I've just got my trail shoes on, and I love when it's like that. It's nice and lightweight on the feet. Great weather. The walk itself, simple enough, bits a bit pathless, which is fine, but easy to follow. The final pull up onto the actual summit is a bouldery scramble. I did follow the crest on the way up the big blocks and that, and had a really good scramble up the rock. Thoroughly enjoyed it, I took some footage of that. Nothing difficult, nothing airy, just good fun. It breaks up the monotony of climbing up boulders, so I fair enjoyed that. On the way down I made the mistake of going down this sort of gully where there seemed to be a path, but it's just like badly eroded, and there was like scree and blocks loose, and it was just a nightmare trying to get a grip. I ended up going back in towards the blocks and hanging on a few blocks and boulders falling down on us. Sometimes you do that. With retrospect you go, I shouldn't have gone down that way, I should have stuck to the crest. I would have had more fun. But anyway, that's what I did. It didn't spoil it. In fact, it always makes it a wee bit of a laugh when you have a bit of a dodgy descent. Anyway, I'm clocking off this time. We'll get a final sort of look at the Fisherfield Hills, and we'll fade out on Sleoch, which again was my final Munro, twice on both my rounds of Munros. See you later.